I brushed my teeth. I washed my face with face wipes, but I did. I washed my face. I put on my face cream. That felt wonderful. My teeth. Feels wonderful. I am going to put on a clean shirt today. Not right now, not till the kids get home. And I had meant to bring up some clean clothes before surgery, you know, have some pants, some underwear, some shirts. That was one of those things that didn't happen, alas. Oh well, so I will have them do that. The nerve block has completely worn off, so that's pretty intense. Doing my best to stay on top of it. Still have not had a bowel movement, but I do feel like things are starting to kind of work their way through. Had a ginormous coffee this morning. Gonna have some more peanuts, because you guys know I'm digestively sensitive to those, so that should help. I have been taking the Colace, the stool softeners. If I don't have a comfortable bowel movement today, then I will add in the Miralax. I am trying to get more movement today. I did just, you know, cruise around on my wheelie scooter and did a couple things, including making a pot of coffee. I have not brushed my hair yet, but we'll get to that. Kitty. Kitty. She just can't get over the water thing. Kitty. It hurts. I'm watching this H.H. Holmes, the murder castle guy, that during the World's Fair back in, like, it was either the late 1800s or early 1900s. He killed a bunch of people in his torture hotel. I thought that would help me, because, you know, these kind of shows usually do help me. Oh my God. I know now that I'm back on the ice and the elevating, this will help eventually, but and now I feel my guts are trying to process stuff and trying to get things moving, and that's uncomfortable. Yeah, you guys are getting all the details. You know, that's what we're doing on this channel. You're getting all the details. The pain, Jesus Christ. You know, I've said so many times, you know, you prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And at least if it isn't that bad, then it's not that bad. But also if it is that bad, well, you were preparing for it. And oh my holy fucking God, guys. I'm really glad that the kids are at school. This is supposed to be the worst day of the initial recovery period. So then they have school again tomorrow. So that's good. So my hope is that they won't have to see too much of this, of what I'm going through, because I know that's, you know, really stressful for them. I'm going to see what other shows I can find that might be helpful. There's also a book that I've read during really hard times in my life, and I might have someone get it down for me. It's in the attic on my bookshelf up there, called The Hill. And it's a really helpful one. Except that trying to read, I thought I'd be doing so much reading. Between the medications and the pain, I just, I can't focus on books yet. But maybe tomorrow or the next day I'll be able to. think I'll have to try to find a show. My little nurse.
You want to go on that side and hold up her leg?
That was really hard. Getting to the car, then from the car back to the house after. Those were very difficult parts, but also I was not prepared for them taking off the wrappings. I should have thought of that. That should have been obvious, but I didn't know they were going to do that. And that hurt really bad. And then it was, I wasn't mentally prepared for the pain of it and for seeing what I was going to see. And like some of the pads, of course, got stuck on some of the dry like blood. And so that hurt. And then I felt like I was going to throw up. So they turned the fan on in the room and gave me water and a, vomit bag. And then he showed me what was what and explained all of it to me, which I will explain as best as I remember. And then, of course, they had to wrap it back up, and that was painful. Basically, just lots of pain. So much pain. But at the same time, so much validation as well. And him telling me that what I'm dealing with is one of the most painful injuries you can deal with. And that bone injuries are so much more painful than like the soft tissue, like, because this summer I had surgery on my guts and the pain was nothing compared to this. Nothing. And he's like, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. So it was very validating, very validating. Lots of validation. Also, it was really helpful having explanations and knowing what happened, what was going on, why it was going on, knowing what is happening in my own body, It's very, very helpful, like just mentally and emotionally. It really helps. So he gave me some hope that, these first few days, are the worst of it, which, I anticipated. Last night was god awful. And then this morning was a little better. I'm in quite a bit of pain now, but I'm sure that part of that is the process of getting out of the house and, getting the wrap taken off and wrap put back on and, all of that, I'm sure, is a big part of it. But he gave me the kind of light at the end of the tunnel. And my husband reminded me, he's like, but be prepared in case it isn't, and I'm trying to be realistic, but that by Monday, there's a good chance that I'll kind of be done with the heavy pain meds. So I truly hope so. I truly hope so. You guys know that with my guts, I don't like to be on this kind of stuff any longer than absolutely necessary. I still have not been able to take a poo. We're we're only 2.5 days out, but if you've followed me any amount of time in my health journey, you know that that's something that terrifies me, getting backed up, and it makes me crazy. I've had a lot of struggles in that department. I had got this crazy idea in my head that, I was just going to stop with the pain meds so that my guts could work. That was a really dumb idea, and part of why last night was so rough, because I let the pain get away from me, thinking, I was going to try to have a bowel movement. So then I had to catch up with the pain, and it was hell. That was awful. So our new goal is to Monday, so today's Friday, by Monday to hopefully, you know, be done with the big pain meds and just be down to, you know, like Tylenol and stuff. That's my hope. But I also hope that doesn't mean that we're waiting till Monday, you know, as like our new goal point by which time to be able to have a bowel movement, you know? So it's tricky, but I need to adjust things in my head, you know, kind of reset the goalpost and be patient with my body and patient with myself. But I'm sure most of you know, patience is not a virtue that I have in much quantity.
Don't blame yourself.
The kids are busy figuring out chore chart. I just took some meds. And it's almost bedtime. It's hurting. I was able to poo! It is the little things. And the coffee just turned on. It is the little things, my darlings. It's the little things. Being able to poo and then having coffee. I had my appointment, my follow-up, post-op, whatever, yesterday. James was able to take me to the appointment. I'm so glad he was. They took off the wrapping and everything from my foot, which I was not expecting. I was not prepared for. Let me tell you what I learned. What exactly happened during what was supposed to be very max 1.5 hour surgery that turned into 5 hours. Let me tell you why and what happened. Here we go. Okay. Not sure if I mentioned this, but pictures will be at the end, the very end of the video. That is when there will be pictures. I only took a few, just a couple of pictures in between them unwrapping, making sure everything was good, putting new, I don't know, wrappings and stuff, and then wrapping it all back up. So just a few pictures, but I think they'll give you at least a decent idea of what was going on. Sorry, catching my breath. I was just scooting around, playing with the kitty. Had to brush my hair, then play with the kitty some more. Anyway, so the original diagnosis was really bad sprain. No, there were sprains. There were many sprains. In every part of my foot and ankle, there were sprains. Severe sprains throughout my ankle up here, my heel, my foot, several parts of my foot. There were so many sprains. They all lit up on the MRI. Okay. Then we thought Lisfranc. Well, yes, there was a crazy severe Lisfranc sprain, but luckily not a Lisfranc fracture. Though at this point, it doesn't really matter. The recovery time and final product and all that is going to be the same as if there was a Lisfranc fracture. But no. Come on up, kitty. Come on up, sweetie. Kitty. She still doesn't know what to think of my polar ice water machine thing. Come on up, kitty. Kitty preciosa. Ven aquí, ven conmigo. Kitty, what are you doing? Anyway, so not a Lisfranc fracture, but severe Lisfranc sprain. But what ended up was there were 2 large breaks. Yes, broken bones, even though we had the x-rays and those showed no breaks. No, the MRI showed that there were 2 significant breaks where the ends of bones had broken completely off. One on each side of my foot, ankle, whatever. Oh my goodness. So the plan was we'll screw those back on and then see what else is going on with live x-ray and attend to it. We go into surgery. That's the plan. He gets in, and the one on the interior of my foot, which would be the left side of my right foot, he went to screw it back on. The piece of bone just almost disintegrated, though it's more like it melted. The piece of bone that had broken off on the left side was completely dead. They call it I'll put the word right here, but it's something necrosis. Avascular necrosis. There was no blood supply during these months and months, no blood supply to that piece of bone, even though part of the tendon was attached, sort of attached to it. There was no blood supply going to it. It was a dead piece of bone. So that changed the plan right away. He had to unattach, had to detach the tendon from that and throw out that piece of bone. Then tried to reattach the tendon to the rest of the bone, but it was all marshmallow too. Layers of marshmallow. So the healthy bone, the bone that was not broken off, it had started dying too. It's only the second time I've told anyone this situation, this story, so it's all very raw. So that was not working. He said my bone stripped out in trying to put in these progressive screws, because he tried like 3 different kinds. It stripped out my bone because the bone there was too soft because it was dying. Just a sprain. You know your body, frugal friends. If things are not healing, keep getting more opinions and more tests, or you're going to end up with a dead foot. Gatita, ven aquí. Ven conmigo. Gatita, ven aquí. Or you want to go with Lulu? Lulu's taking a nap over there. Come on, honey. Come on, sweetie. Anyway, he finally gave up on that plan. And this, what I'm telling you right now, was what took the majority of the time for my foot. So he gave up on the plan of attaching it on the left side and said, nope, that's not going to happen. Ended up putting, oh, there she comes. There's my preciosa gatita. There's a little tail. Hello. My kitty. Come here, sweetheart. Come here, my precious. My precious. Anyway. Yeah, it's hard to tell stories anymore when I've got my gatita. Oh, I love her. She's been so good to me through all of this. Oh my God, she's been so good to me. So anyway, he ends up deciding to do what is called the old school way, apparently, old-fashioned way, which is running the connection clear through my foot to the other side, up and over a titanium button screw on the top of my foot to hold this connection going, then clear through my foot, up and around. Gonna do the breathing thing again. For real. It'll heal. It'll be fine. But it hurts like a son of a bitch. Yeah, I really need to do that breathing thing again. I will. Don't worry. I will. So, that was that. Then, on the right side of my foot, a big chunk of bone had completely broken off. But in the meantime, my body had been healing in, regrowing bone in the space in between. So there was the piece of broken bone that's like hanging out over here. My body regrew bone all the way to reach to that broken piece that was hanging out over there. And that was probably a huge part of the actual pain that I was feeling, because it was hanging out so that anytime I was walking, excuse me, or moving, it was hitting into that overhanging piece of bone. So because the bone that grew in was nice, healthy, strong, good job, body. Good job. Nice, healthy, and strong. What he ended up doing, get ready, okay? I know a lot of this is pretty intense, and I'll put a warning at the beginning. But he had to saw off the old bone. So the one, it was still connected, still had blood supply, so it wasn't marshmallow. It wasn't all dead or dying. So he had to saw that piece off and then sand off the regrowth. Not sand it all the way off, but sand it nice. Then applied something called bone wax to stop it from bleeding, because your bones bleed. I'm learning all kinds of things, but your bones, they bleed. And when they do, then your body wants to regrow more bone on there. And we don't want more bone to grow on there. So this bone wax, after he sawed off the other piece, smoothed out the regrown piece, put on bone wax so that it should stay and be good. We will have to keep an eye for years to come, unfortunately, on that, what happened there, and on everything going on that was on the left side. We will have to keep an eye on all that. There were several, like I said, several sprains. A big one in my heel. My heel was sprained. But he looked at it, looked at all of them, and they should be fine. They should be able to heal on their own, especially where I'm going to be weeks and weeks of non-weight bearing on my right foot. And it's time now for patience. I know, you guys know how good I am at patience. I have had friends and family coming to visit. I had the most delightful visit with a girlfriend of mine last night. I've got my sister coming over a few days this week. One of my lifelong best friends coming over this week. I am going to go to Thanksgiving. We're working on figuring that out, how we're going to do it. But we are. My sister-in-law is going to come over. She's lending me her peg leg. It's actually, it's a medical device. It's one that I had looked at but wasn't sure about. My doctor said I can't use it for another 2 weeks. But then after our next follow-up appointment, then he said I'd be okay to use it, probably with crutches, but that's all right. But it's one where your knee is bent and your knee rests on a leg. Anyway, so she's going to come by. I've got Olivia with me today. James is at work. The other 2 kids are off with cousins. Hallelujah. We all needed a break, you know, from each other, from the house, something else to do. And I was terrified. How am I going to do this on my own today with all the kids? Because, you know, they start getting, you know, biting at each other. And I totally forgot that one of my other sisters-in-law had said that she would take them today. I had totally forgot. So this morning, they were off and on their way at the crack of, well, like 9:30. Anyway, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna relax here with my kitty. She's right here with me. Lulu's snoozing. We're just gonna take it easy and celebrate that I got to poo. I got to poo. He ordered me all this stuff, suppositories, enemas, all the, oh my God. And my husband went and picked those up for me. I was not looking forward to all of that. I used one last night. I was like, I have to at least, you know, I don't know how in the hell I would do an enema, just logistically. I mean, I can't put any weight on the one foot, and that's not something my husband and I are doing together. We are not that kind of couple. We want to keep the romance alive. So we're not, okay? No judgment. If that's what y'all do, none of my business, okay? But I'll use the suppository. I can do that. I've been eating bananas, peanuts. I've been drinking so much water. I've been getting up and moving as much as I possibly can. And hallelujah, was it the suppository? Was it a cumulative effect of everything else? I don't know. Was it wishing on a star? I don't know. But I was able to poo, and it was wonderful. Listen. If you have had surgery, especially major super surgery, if you have had bowel problems, digestive problems, you know, it's worth a party and a dance and a song and a parade when you're able to comfortably poo. All right? It just is. It just is. So the pharmacist told my husband, so he got him all these and then said, if those don't work, there's one other kind of enema, but it's a last resort. So if she tries those and those don't work, come back and I'll get you this other one. And it'll make anybody poo. It will clear the way. The skies will part. The saints and angels from above and below will all come flying in. Or out. But you don't want that unless you absolutely have to. And I'm like, oh my God. Hallelujah, we're not going to need that one. Yay. So, I had hoped to be off of the pain meds by now. Hasn't happened, but I'm reminding myself, Julie, this is an intense, severe, insane injury and surgery. And my doctor was very validating of that. Very validating. Both of us, obviously, our goal is to get off of the pain meds. He's like, but you need to be realistic with this. You need to be realistic. And so I had been shooting for like yesterday to be off of the pain meds. So that would have been Friday. I had surgery Tuesday and I wanted to be done Friday with pain meds. And he's like, you know, that kind of being very nice, but like, oh God, this woman. He's like, listen, let's shoot for Monday to wean off of those. I don't love that idea. It was helpful that I was able to poo today. That definitely helped. But what I'm doing is trying to take like a half of a Percocet and see if that, along with some meditation and some breathing, if that, you know, but I also have to be careful to not let the pain get on top of me because that's terrifying. That's not good. And it's actually not good for your healing process either. So, but any of you who've been with me any amount of time, you know I do not want to be on pain meds. I do not want to be on any more meds than I absolutely have to be on. Not just because it affects the pooping. That's a huge part of it, though. But because of family history of, you know, addiction and you know, things like that. So, anyway, I want to be off of these as soon as possible. So, I'm going to be doing some meditation videos, some other relaxation techniques, you know, alternatives. I'm going to light a candle. I've got other things that I'm working on doing. I'm going to do some reading. I'm going to, I've got things, okay? I've got things that I'm going to do. I'm looking for my water, but I don't have it, so I'll have some of my Gatorade or Powerade. And yeah, the goal is to be able to be done or seriously weaning off by Monday. My personal goal is to be done, 100% done by Monday. So, you know, to be weaning throughout the weekend and be done with the pain meds by Monday. Yeah, which, to be honest, is kind of terrifying right now because, look, I've had so many surgeries. This was like number 13, I think. This body, it does the best that it can, but it's a burning down circus. You guys know this. And I've had all these other surgeries. I've pushed out babies. I had a failed epidural, you know. Nothing has compared to this. And I was feeling like I was losing my mind or I was a baby or something. And the doctor was like, no, soft tissue and bone are two completely different solar systems when it comes to pain. They are different animals, different beasts, and bone injuries and surgeries are just worse. It just is what it is. You're not crazy. Well, I mean, that's debatable. They are worse. It just is what it is. You can't compare them to soft tissue. They are different animals. And that was very validating. It was. It was. I want it to be done. And yet, like I was saying in my journal the other day, I don't want to be wishing my time away either, you know. So I'm trying to find things to do, like having visits with family and friends, and doing some writing, some reading. I might even make some jewelry if I feel up to it. I also don't want to put too many things on my plate, you know. I have been eating just straight junk food until like through last night. So today, putting myself back together. Remember, we had talked about this, that I didn't want this to be another just gaining weight situation that would just make me more crazy and make the problems worse. I gave myself those few days to have some treats and some yum-yums. And now today we're back on the low carb, the dirty keto. That'll help, I think, to have that to kind of think about, not in an unhealthy way, but just to, you know, be thinking about meal options, meal choices, stuff like that. And to be eating better food will be better for me, mentally, physically, all of it. Getting better nutrition, I know will make a difference. But I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to underdo it. It's a very delicate balance of the physical healing, you know, and then trying to stave off mental and emotional disaster. But I was able to poo! And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Oh, it was fabulous. I even texted my husband and he's like, congratulations. Oh, God. Yes, I am still in horrific pain. Unbelievable pain. Yes, I am still so frustrated. I am not at the point of like radical acceptance yet of this plight, of this situation. I'm not there yet. And I don't need to be there yet. We're going to take it a day at a time. Sometimes an hour at a time. And as with all things, difficult things in our lives, that's the way. That is the way. You just step by step. Feel a New Kids on the Block tune coming on. I appreciate you guys for being with me through this. Thank you for being part of my life. And now onward. Onward to the next glorious battle. Or day of relaxation, whatever the case may be. All my best, all my love to you and to yours. I need to elevate my foot up again. So I'm going to sign off, and I will see you all very soon.